join, then there is a fee for that. Okay, so the responsibility of revenue management is lies on the sales and marketing in current scenario, and there are specific revenue management people who are doing the things, and the task of revenue manager is to direct and make strategies. So in the organization structure, there is normally a director of sales and marketing, usually a director of sales, digital marketing. There is a one person for communication. Then there is a revenue management and events management. There can be other departments depending on the hotel size and other things. There be some department they don't have a digital marketing because if the hotel is small, they don't need really a digital marketer. They can do it. Director of sales and marketing might be doing it, or any other person can do it. And it's not necessary to have a revenue manager also in all the hotels. Small size hotels, they don't need a revenue manager. It can be done by somebody else, right? So normally, if this is a large size hotel structure, if there is a revenue manager, then they normally have two people in their team. One who is managing the reservations, where their job is to do the inventory management, and there is one guy for distribution. So distribution channels we will understand in the future slide what are distribution. Okay, so this is the overall structure of sales and marketing division and how the revenue management fits in. But it's not the revenue management is not only the responsibility of this one person revenue management only. It's the responsibility of the whole section. They also need to understand every revenue management aspect because they are the one who are executing the decisions or executing the strategy, right? So if they are not aligned with the revenue management philosophy of the hotel, then they will be making unaligned decisions which are not in the interest of the hotels. Okay, so revenue management, there are some myths that I will be asking you like questions. So normally people ask me, is it the revenue management is about increasing the price of the hotel? So how many people of you think this is actually increasing the price of the hotel? It's not about increasing the price of the hotel, right? So you all know that it's not about increasing the prices. Is it about filling the hotel? So what is it meaning? Is it about can we do revenue management when there is no occupancy in the hotel or low occupancy in the hotel? But there is no right and wrong answer. But my understanding is you can do revenue management even though there is a low occupancy in the hotel. Even though there are like 20% occupancy, you still do the revenue management. You will see in the future slides why I'm saying it. So it's not about since because it's not about increasing the price, it's not about filling the hotel. So it's definitely not about that you cannot do a revenue management when you have low number of peoples in your hotel, right? So it is even though there is no demand, not enough demand, you still can do the revenue management, which we will see in the future. So these are some questions normally revenue management when you ask a revenue manager ask. So we are not going to go too much detail on this one. So like, do you have a total revenue management? So revenue management is not about only managing the rooms revenue. Revenue management is about maximizing the profit of the hotel nowadays. In the previous, it was called total revenue management, means the overall room revenue plus F&B revenue plus banquet revenue plus other spa revenue and everything else. But now the situation has changed because if you want to go after some business, there are costs of doing the business. Every different business has a different costing. Group business is different cost. FIT business has a different cost. So today is all about managing the profits, how to maximize the net amount which you keep in your pocket. Not about the total revenue, not about the top line anymore. It's about the gross operating profit of the hotel, operating profit, right? Okay. So the revenue management, the definition of revenue management, you don't need to note down this. I will send you the slides so you can have a look. It's a constellation. Constellation means as a group of tools and actions dedicated towards the selling the right product, which is your room or your F&B or your banquet space, to the right customer at the right time, at the right price, and via right channel or you can say via right distribution. So in sum, to summarize, this is and the key is here optimum level of hotels net revenue and gross operating profit. So the key is not maximizing the revenue, is the optimum level of operating profit. Because where we say optimum level is, there are different level of operating. If the hotel is operating at 20% occupancy, it has some cost. Hotel may increase it to 25%. It may survive with the same cost. So means you are maximizing the revenue. But when it goes hit 40% occupancy, it needs additional staff. So the staff cost increase, and it does not increase in the same ratio like 50%. It may increase by a higher amount. So by getting the extra business, you may be incurring with a much higher cost, right? Let's say you can serve 10 people in the customer by one person. So if you have 11th person, 11th guest coming into the hotel, you need to hire another person, right? So that extra person will cost you more than the revenue which the 11th guest is taking. So will you take the 11th guest? You might probably not take it because it's not worth of spending one extra person in the salaries, because it will hit your GOP. It will bring down your GOP, right? It will bring down your operating profit. So the key also is to understand what is your marginal cost, how much you need to spend to serve an extra guest, an extra room. Then the definition is about offering the right product. So means you need to identify the product, what you want to sell, or what you have exactly, and to who is your target market. Because not every room is sold to everybody. Some rooms are suitable for business guests, some rooms are suitable for leisure guests, some rooms are suitable for Chinese, some rooms are suitable for Filipinos, for New Zealanders, for Koreans, or all kind of different things, right? So it's not everything sold to everyone. So you need to identify what is your product, then what is your target market, what is the right distribution channel, how to sell them is also different techniques. Then a right time based on the booking period, because every market, every citizen, every different profiles of the customers, they have their different booking habits. So somebody can book 6 months in advance. So if that somebody books 6 months in advance, you cannot sell them or you cannot promote them only 2 months in advance or 1 week in advance. They will not book it because they already have booked it. But if somebody is booking only 1 week in advance, there is no point in telling them 6 months in advance, so I have a room. Or if somebody is making a New Year booking only last minute, they have a habit. So there is no point in telling them 6 months in advance or spending on the Facebook ads or newspaper ads 6 months in advance that okay, I will have a New Year party. There is no point, right? You need to tell them at the right time when they are going to make that particular decision to book or to use the services. Correct? Right price means their own capability to pay. Everybody is not willing to pay the same price. For this particular, for example, this function room, somebody can come and pay, okay, I will pay $1,000 for 1 hour. Or me, like, I will not say, okay, I will not pay $10 also. But everybody has a different willingness to pay. So it's not about the product, it's about the willingness to pay. So you need to understand how much the customers are willing to pay for your product. Different customers have different willingness based on their purpose, what they want to achieve. And the right communication channel. Some people see Facebook all day, so you can reach them via Facebook. Some people don't even look at it, so you do whatever you want to do in Facebook. You will not reach them. So you need to identify what are the right communication channels to reach those customers. Some people are read newspapers, like oldies, like 50s, 60s. They read newspapers, so you can reach them by newspaper ad. You can reach them by newspapers. You cannot reach them via online or Facebook or Twitter, or because they are not there. Correct. But young people are not on the Facebook, or not. Young people are not on the newspaper or magazines. Young people are mostly on Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, all those kind of things. So if your market is young people, you need to you need to go towards those channels. If your market is older or businessmen, you need to go to magazines or newspapers or LinkedIn or other ways. If those people are not connected with the media, then you need to probably go direct marketing. Some people prefer to go with the travel agents. So means you cannot reach them via any other method. They will go and make their decisions based on the travel agents, right? Recommendations of friends. So there are different, every different market segment has different needs. So how you can identify that, it depends on what is your product and how you going to do that. I will just tell you how to do it, but actually doing is yours. Okay. So the revenue management definition is clear. Okay. Excellent. So in simple terms, that was a very complicated very complicated definition. A lot of keywords, optimal pricing and right time or constellation or tools and technologies. So in very simple terms, revenue management is about managing your pricing, managing your competition, knowing your competition, managing the demand, do the capacity inventory management, and also the segmentation. Segmentation is quite important. So if you might have feel when you were going in the airlines, you might have seen there is an economy class, the economy class J, economy class K, and the price is different. So why do you think the prices are different? When you know that the plane is only this big, and the people are going to this at the same time, is there even the seat is just only here or here? It's the same, exactly same seat, but you are paying a different price. Why? Because you have different willingness to pay. You want to sit near the window, you want to sit in the middle of the plane, you want to sit in the back side of the plane, or you want to sit in the front of the side of the plane. You have your preferences. And airlines knows these things. Either they have generated those kind of behavior in our mind, or they have studied the human behavior. Okay, what are the peoples, who are the peoples likely to stay in the higher up, in the beginning apartments. So they are likely to pay more. So they say, okay, this is a premium class, you need to pay this. There is no different benefit, right? You will get the same meal at the same time. You will have to pay the same price. You have the same check-in, same checkout, same everything exactly the same. The only thing is the differentiation of the seats, where these seats are located. Sometimes even it's not depend on the place. It depends on the economy, the window seats or the aisle seats. They are also different price sometimes. It's also depend on the what time you are booking the plane, because they know the urgency. So if you are booking last minute, means you are in urgent need to go, right? So they will charge you higher price. But if you book well in advance, means you have no hurry. You have time to choose the different flights, and the other flights are available, so you will find them cheaper. So it's the same product, same person, same willingness, different timing. So you will pay the different prices. So this is all about the revenue management. You might be doing it already. If you are selling like this, then you probably are doing it already. Or you are paying for revenue management higher prices based unconsciously. Or you are experiencing revenue management but you don't know about it. Right? Okay? So the revenue management have some assumptions. So which I call premises. This is, revenue management is based on these considerations. So the first one is rooms is a perishable product, especially the services. Wherever we are selling the time, when we cannot reproduce the same product again, it's called perishable, right? Like fruits and vegetables. If you don't consume them in 3 months, it's lost. Same the rooms. If you don't sell it today, it's lost. So this revenue will never come back. So the revenue management assumes the rooms is a perishable product because we are selling the time. We are not selling the room itself. Then another assumption is hospitality has a high fixed cost and low variable cost. Means an extra business will not cost us too much. It will cost us a very small amount, right? Like if you sell an extra room, it may cost you only the amenities, or maybe a booking cost, or maybe a reservation cost. That's it, or maybe a commission. Finish. There's no other cost. Your overall cost of operation is 50%. Let's say your gross profit is 50%. But it does not mean that extra revenue, extra room which you are selling is also will cost you 50%. It will cost you much less because of your cost of selling and cost of servicing is mostly is fixed. Only some portion is variable. Then there is a seasonal demand. The seasonal demand depends not only on the period of the year, it also depends on the day of the week. Sunday demand is different from Saturday demand. Monday is different. Tuesday is different, Thursday is different, Wednesday is different. So it's every day is different. And also it depends on, is there any event in the market? Maybe everything is same, but there is a big event in the market or in the city. So means you're gonna have a peak in surge in demand, right? Or it also seasonality is also come from the social factors, economical factors, political factors. So which we will see in future. What are those factors? So, but the point is that it assumes the demand is seasonal. Then, sorry, the last one is there are some assumptions. Means that it is possible to do a forecasting of demand. It's impossible to see the future. You cannot predict how many room nights you will get in future, right? You cannot know that, okay, you will have 10 room nights coming into your hotel today. But you can estimate, maybe I will have 11, maybe I have 10, but probably you will get plus minus 90%. Right. So if we are assuming it is possible to forecast the demand, mean you can see in the future based on your past history or wherever we can see. And then also is that possibility is to segment the revenue, means we can know who are our customers and why they are buying our product. So it's very important to do in the revenue management. Is these are the missing minimum factors. You should be able to forecast your demand. You should be able to understand who are your customers and why they are coming to you. And the last one is the price. So everybody has a different willingness, and we understand their willingness to pay. So it's very difficult to understand how much I want to pay for your product, right? But the revenue management assumes we know about it. So revenue managers would probably know how much this market is going to pay for you. This comes from mostly the previous factors, last line, previous one, your competition and other factors in the market. So it's not that you are not like a magician or astrologer to identify what are the price elasticity, but you just are assuming it based on your data analysis, right? Okay. So these are the common revenue management decisions. So now we understand what is revenue management, what are the assumptions we are making in revenue management, correct? Now we are going to look at what are the common typical revenue management decisions. I'm not a revenue manager, so I cannot tell you exactly how many decisions they make, but this is what is based on my experience or my interactions with other revenue managers. I have worked with almost 3 or 4 professional revenue managers in my life. And while I was preparing this slide, I have consulted a few of them also to see that what I am teaching is reasonable and usable for the general public. So the revenue managers usually make decision that, okay, do I need to take this booking or not? Why? Why you want to take that? Because your inventory is limited. You can sell only if your room has 100 rooms. If your hotel has 100 rooms, you cannot sell 101. You will sell only 100 maximum. That's the max. You cannot split the room and put two different people in the same room. Cannot do like this, right? So you have a perishable product and you have limited product also. So you need to make a decision if you have a demand, which we will see in future. Why we may have a higher demand. Sometimes hotels are full and there is still a demand coming in, right? So normally revenue managers stop at 80% and say, okay, now I will choose the rest of the 20% or 70%, depending on the risk-taking capacity of the hotel. Some people will say, okay, no, keep filling until 95% and the balance 5% we will maximize. Some hotels may want to take a bold risk. They fill up to only 90% and the rest 10% is on the risk. Some hotels may say, okay, no, I want to take a much higher risk. 80% is fixed, then the balance 20% I will maximize based on the demand coming. So I will make decisions, choose. So these are the different factors. Also, it depends on the different room types, how many higher category rooms each hotel has. So they make a decision to accepting the group business or not. They want to say, okay, there are different channels in the now. You can book through travel agent, book through direct booking, book through agents, book through online agents, or there are many channels, right? So which channel I should close now or which channel I should continue to accept? It depends on how much extra business I am getting from each channel. So you need to understand what is my yield from each channel. So my room is sold to agent at $90. On my website, I can sell for 120. So I should be I should be keeping my online booking open until the end. But I may close the booking from travel agent when the night when the occupancy reach 80% or 90%, because I may not have enough rooms to sell. Correct? Then there are when to start promoting the market. When I should start marketing the channels. When I should start the promotions, or what when should I stay minimum length of stay, like I take a booking, it has to be minimum stay for 3 months, or sorry, 3 days or 4 days or 2 days. When do I need to do that or not? Then you say, okay, how much business are we going to realistically manage, realistically get in the future months, in the next month, next to next month, or next to next month, so that we can manage the cost, because the goal is to maximize the profits. So once you know, okay, how much business we can get, then you can advise your operation team, your finance team to control the cost accordingly. Then, should we take overbookings? Are we taking the risk to take overbookings? Is it only us is full in the hotel? If the city is whole full, then you might not take a risk of overbooking, because if the guests come, you don't have a place to give them alternative accommodation. But if only you are full, other hotels are not full, then you can take overbookings. But it affects your hotel's image. Who are the market? If you are going to take a overbooking, then who are you going to walk away? The guests also. So there are many decisions that revenue managers normally take. And the factors, there are different factors to make those decisions. Should we accept the displacement of revenue? Because if some group is coming, they may be taking some place. So you are displacing the other revenue, because you can sell to somebody else, right? So when to take that, or how much to displace? Then you have what can we package together? What can we sell together as a package to the guest? Should we combine the rooms with the F&B? Should we combine room with the spa? Should we combine room package and F&B together? Or should we combine the adventures also together? It depends on the market's ability to pay and willingness to pay. So the revenue managers normally make that decision. There is no point in selling a package of rooms with a dinner or in the spa to somebody who don't want to stay in the hotel for others except the night, or to a corporate agent, or to a corporate meeting guest, because he may not have enough time to use those services, right? So he will not buy it. So you don't need to waste your time or energy, efforts to sell those kind of packages. Then what kind of concessions I should give to the group? Like sometimes in the group business, you are all from hospitality, you give a lot of concessions to the group, right? You give sometime free upgrades. You give sometime free meeting room space. You give sometime, okay, I will block your ballroom for 1 day in advance, or I will give you this, I will give you that. But do you need to give them? So those decisions are also coming from the revenue managers usually. That should we give them this kind of displacement? Because if you have a chance to sell those services to others, then you may not give them these concessions, or you want to charge a higher price from the group. It all depends on what are the factors. If these are the key decision makers for the group business, then you may need to do it, even though you are displacing the revenue, because it's in the interest of overall hotel revenue or profitability, right? Okay, so these were the common revenue